We will now call the Common Council meeting of May 6, 2025 to order. Roll call, please.
Alderwoman Haas is excused. Alderman Lorik.
Here.
Ritz.
Here.
Marshall. Here. Gale.
Here.
Guzekowski.
Here.
Everybody, please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Avery, you want to start us off? Pledge allegiance to the flag
Of the United States of America. To the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And that will get us to the approval of minutes of April 15th, 2025. Everybody take a moment, please. And review it for errors, omissions, corrections, and if there's any discussion, please take the floor.
So motion to approve the minutes of April 15th, 2025.
Lorik seconds. Roll call.
Alderman Lorik.
Aye.
Ritz.
Aye.
Marshall. Aye. Gale.
Aye.
Guzekowski.
Aye.
And item 4 through 6 is recognition, and first is a mayoral proclamation for National Public Works Week, which will occur May 18th through the 24th, 2025. Catherine, please read that in.
Certainly, National Public Works Week, May 18th through 24, 2025, People, Purpose, Presence. Whereas public works professionals focus on infrastructure, facilities, and services that are of vital importance to sustainable and resilient communities and to public health, high quality of life, and well-being of the people of Oak Creek. And whereas these infrastructure, facilities, and services could not be provided without the dedicated effort of public works professionals who are engineers, managers, and employees at all levels of government and the private sector, who are responsible for rebuilding, improving, and protecting our nation's transportation, water supply, water treatment, and solid waste systems, public buildings and other structures and facilities essential for our citizens. And whereas it is in the public interest for the citizens, civic leaders, and children in the city of Oak Creek to gain knowledge of and maintain an ongoing interest and understanding of the importance of public works and public works programs in their respective communities. And whereas the year 2025 marks the 65th annual National Public Works Week sponsored by the American Public Works Association, Canadian Public Works Association. Now therefore be it resolved, I, Daniel J. Bakevich, Mayor of the City of Oak Creek, do hereby designate the week of May 18th through 24, 2025 as National Public Works Week. I urge all citizens to join with representatives of the American Public Works Association and government agencies in activities, events, and ceremonies designed to pay tribute to our public works professionals, engineers, managers, and employees, and to recognize the substantial contributions they make to protecting our national health, safety, and advancing quality of life for all. Dated the 6th day of May, 2025.
Thank you, Catherine. Anyone on the council want to make a comment on anything? This came to me, and it is very important that we take some time to recognize these folks publicly. These are all the folks that do all the behind-the-scenes work that really doesn't get recognized day to day or make front pages unless there's a problem. And usually they correct it, or it's no fault of their own. It's some kind of natural occurrence or something like that, but they're protecting lives. Water treatment, transportation, public buildings, solid waste, all the things we just assume are going to magically happen. These folks do it day in and day out. It's only correct to really recognize them for this 1 week. So if you do see one of these folks in your neighborhood performing some work, give them a smile, a wave, and thank them if you would, please. That is a mayoral proclamation, and no vote will be taken. Next is item 5, and that is again a mayoral proclamation for Huntington Disease Awareness Month, which occurs this May 2025. Catherine?
Huntington Disease Awareness Month. Whereas Huntington disease, HD, is a brain disease that is passed down in families from generation to generation, it is caused by a mistake in the DNA instructions that build our bodies and keep them running. DNA is made up of thousands of genes, and people with HD have a small error in one gene called Huntington. Over time, this error causes damage to the brain and leads to HD symptoms. And whereas HD causes deterioration in a person's physical, mental, and emotional abilities, usually during their prime working years, and currently has no cure. Most people start developing symptoms during adulthood between the ages of 30 to 50, but HD can also occur in children and young adults, known as juvenile HD or JHD. HD is known as a family disease because every child of a parent with HD has a 50-50 chance of inheriting the faulty gene. Today, there are approximately 41,000 symptomatic Americans and more than 200,000 at risk of inheriting the disease. And whereas every child of a parent with Huntington disease faces a 50% risk of inheriting this genetic disorder, and there is no effective treatment and no known cure yet. And whereas the Huntington Society of America has initiated and supported research into the cause and nature of this fatal disease, and the work of the society has brought new hope to the people with Huntington disease and families who bear the burden of this affliction. And whereas research continues to offer the promise of early diagnosis, treatment techniques, and ultimately a cure for Huntington disease. And whereas this month, the month of May, will be observed as Huntington Disease Awareness Month, and on May 19th, 2025, the City of Oak Creek will be host to the 5th annual Goosey's Hunt for the Cure Run Walk. In 4 years, the event has raised over $300,000 for the Huntington Disease Society of America, HDSA, Wisconsin chapter, and Goosey's Hunt for the Cure Foundation, Inc. Whereas I, Daniel J. Bakevich, Mayor of the City of Oak Creek, urge all our citizens to lend their support to the Huntington Society of America in its efforts to unravel not only the mystery of Huntington disease, but also a wide range of other genetic, neurological, and psychiatric disorders affecting the lives of so many. Now therefore be it resolved that I, Daniel J. Bakevich, Mayor of the City of Oak Creek, proclaim May 2025 as Huntington Disease Awareness Month, dated the 6th day of May 2025.
Thank you, Catherine.
You're
Council, any words? Goosey?
Thank you for doing this. It's well done, and invite everybody down on to our race on May 19th. It's coming up, and just wondering if you or Catherine will be there for the race day.
I will
read?
be. I am planning on being down there
Okay,
myself.
great. We'll have you read the proclamation.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
Wonderful. As Chris said, May 19th, we will be having Goosey's Hunt for the Cure. In 5 short years, as the proclamation says, it raised over $300,000. That's a great testament not only to the city of Oak Creek, but to people that have come out to help end this disease. Hopefully every dollar we raise on the 19th helps to find a cure and put this thing in check once and for all. It's a wonderful event. If you have not been down there, family-friendly event, please bring them down. There's a lot of things you can put money towards, but this is one disease where they can make a huge difference, but they need your help. So please, if you can get down there May 19th, please do so. So once again, no action is needed. And item 6 is another mayoral proclamation for Poppy Days, which will happen this May. So, Poppy proclamation.
Sure.
Too many P's in that one.
Poppy Days, May 2025, Olschlager Dahlman American Legion, Post 434, and Auxiliary. Whereas the Olschlager Dahlman American Legion Post and Auxiliary 434 has designated the month of May 2025 to honor all our veterans of all wars by distribution of poppies in our city. And whereas the annual distribution of poppies is one of the American Legion Post and Auxiliary's many veteran projects of which we are very proud. And whereas all money received from the distribution goes directly to the following: 60% of all money received will be distributed for direct aid to veterans and their families in need in the city of Oak Creek. 40% of all money received will be distributed for scholarships and loans for veteran children, rehabilitation projects at Zablocki VA Medical Center, Wisconsin Veterans Home at King, Wisconsin, Christmas gift shop at Zablocki VA Medical Center, Camp American Legion, a rehabilitation center for veterans, National Child Welfare Foundation, all veteran affairs and rehabilitation programs. Be it therefore resolved that I, Daniel J. Bakevich, Mayor of the City of Oak Creek, encourage the citizens of Oak Creek to generously contribute to the annual poppy distribution organized by the American Legion Post and Auxiliary 434.
Thank you, Catherine. And as tradition, we always have a Poppy Princess. Avery, I don't know if you want to say anything, or should I just explain what your actions are going to be here? Oh, come on up to the mic. We got to do this proper, like. Nope, right here at the podium. And we'll need your name, please.
Avery Smith.
Okay. And you are here for? Poppy Days. You
Poppy
are the
Days.
Poppy Princess. And by the way, Avery has probably set a city record. She's been the Poppy Princess a number of times. And as you know, they give out poppies, as you can see before. So, tell us exactly what you're going to do as you come up front.
I'm gonna pass out poppies and
Ask for a contribution?
yeah.
Okay. I think we can do that. Thank you, Avery. Kathy, do you have anything you'd like to say?
do in Oak Creek to help the veterans along with us down here. And we're trying to get more involved in the community as well. We're starting to, we're gonna have our first rummage sale down there, invite the community to rent a booth. So that's one of our first major community things, outside of Lions Fest and everything else that goes on.
But when is that? When is the,
The rummage sale is June 14th, Flag Day, sorry to say. But
We got a lot of you booked up here for Flag Day. Right? Thank you.
start over here.
Add it to the collection.
those are my purple.
Again, Avery will be down at Memorial Day down at Forest Hills Cemetery. We'll be meeting down there on Memorial Day at 9 o'clock. The Legion puts on a really nice celebration. If you have not been down there, please take some time and go down there. Not only will the Poppy Princess be there, but usually our state representatives are there as well. It's only right to take a few moments that weekend to honor those that gave the ultimate sacrifice for our freedoms. Again, thank you very much, Avery, for all you do. And again, Jeff, Kathy, and the Legion, thank you for everything the civic groups do in the city. I always say this all the time. We have various civic groups, and they're always doing work here for the Oak Creek citizens, and it's greatly appreciated. So thank you. Okay, we will need no action on that. That will get us to our first public hearing. That is consideration of a consideration of the City of Oak Creek's intent to exercise its power under Section 3.200 of the Municipal Code of the City of Oak Creek to levy special assessments upon abutting properties for the benefit conferred upon such properties from 2520 East Sharon to 2636 East Sharon Drive. Catherine?
Public hearing number one is to consider the City of Oak Creek's intent to exercise its power under Section 3.200 of the Municipal Code of the City of Oak Creek to levy special assessments upon abutting property for benefits conferred upon such property in the following location. Project number 25117, water main and apprentices, all property along East Sharon Drive listed below, 2600 and 2630 East Sharon Drive, dated this 23rd day of April 2000.
Great, thank you. Mike?
Thank you, sir. This is a public hearing. I'll give a few brief details about the project, and then if anyone would like to speak, please come to the podium, state your name and address, and you'll be heard. So this project is, as mentioned, is a water main looping project. It's a project that closes a gap on Sharon Drive where there currently is no development. There's room for a few houses, maybe 5 or 6 houses in that location. It's long been considered to be, was considered to be a closed gap. In 2007, there was going to be a development that went in there that would put this water main in, tying the two ends, the east side and the west side together. That did not happen. Here we are today. We've got 5 homes on one side and 1 home on the other side that have no ability to flush that water main. There was no hydrant on the end of those lines. So by tying this together, it'll improve their fire protection, but it'll also provide that water quality loop through there. This project is a special assessment project because it does benefit the properties on either side, both of which happen to be owned by the county. The cost of the project was estimated at $87,000, of which the special assessments would recover about $50,000. Utility would then fund the $37,000 remainder. The special assessments, as I mentioned, both of them are county-owned properties. They'd be on the 10-year payback plan based on their size and their frontage being smaller in nature. 5 or 10 year payback. So with that, if anyone would like to come to the podium and speak on the project, please do so.
Great. Thank you, Mike. As Mike said, this is a public hearing. We will make 3 calls. This will be the first. If you wish to speak on it, please approach the podium. Give your name and address for the record. Second call, anybody wishing to speak? Third and final call, anybody wishing to speak, please approach the podium. Seeing no one wishing to speak, we will close the public hearing and move on to item 8, which is a resolution, a final resolution authorizing the water main improvements and levying the special assessments against the benefited properties along East Sharon Drive from 2520 to 2636 East Sharon Drive. Open it up to the council for questions, comments. Lisa?
That's correct.
Further questions or discussion? Okay, seeing none, motion please.
Marshall will move that the Common Council adopt Resolution 12575-050625, the final resolution authorizing water main improvement and levying special assessments against benefited properties along East Sharon Drive from 2520 to 2636 East Sharon Drive.
Guzekowski, second.
Roll call?
Alderman Ritz?
Aye.
Marshall? Aye. Gale?
Aye.
Guzekowski?
Aye.
Lorick?
Aye. And item 9 is consideration of a request for a conditional use permit for a drive-through at Buena Beef Restaurant and Rainbow Cone Ice Cream Shop. Proposed businesses to be located at 8767 South Howell. Christie.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Christy Lane, Community Development Director. The public hearing before you this evening is for a conditional use permit for
I'm sorry.
Oh,
Christie.
sorry, Catherine.
I'm sorry, I
s-
jumped the gun.
I jumped the gun too.
Catherine's public hearing. Gotta read it in the record.
Public-
No, don't be sorry. I blew that one.
Public hearing number 2 is to consider a request for a conditional use permit for a drive-through at Buena Beef Restaurant and Rainbow Cone Ice Cream Shop. Proposed businesses to be located at 8767 South Howell Avenue. Applicant is Nathan Schmidt, Harwood Engineering Consultants Limited. Property owner is ENDF3DK LLC. Legal description there follows. Date of notice, April 9th, 2025.
Thank you, Catherine. Now, Christy.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Christy Lane, Community Development Director. The public hearing item before you this evening is for a drive-through for a new restaurant that's proposed along the west side of Howell Avenue. On the east side, across from it is Pick and Save and McDonald's and Dunkin' Donuts. The conditional use permit is for the actual drive-through, not necessarily the restaurant. A restaurant is a permitted use in the B4 General Business District. So Buena Beef and Rainbow Cone are proposing to come to Oak Creek. It would be their third restaurant in the state of Wisconsin. They're Chicago-based. They have a restaurant in Lake Geneva and also in Pleasant Prairie. They're proposing to construct a 4,700 square foot building. Their hours of operation would be 10:30 to 10:30 Sunday through Thursday, and then Friday and Saturday nights a little bit later, closing at 11 p.m. So the drive-through, which requires a conditional use permit, you can see the entrance to the site would be kind of on the northern side, and then the customers would go through the parking lot, head south, and then head east for a double lane, 2-lane with 2 menu boards drive-through. And it does meet the requirements of the zoning code with a bypass lane and queuing length, the number of vehicles required to queue. And they are expecting about 400 customers a day, of which 40% would utilize the drive-through. And then the conditions and restrictions do limit a maximum of 18 cars in line with 4 queuing spaces for orders. So the Plan Commission did review this and recommended approval kind of in between the time of the Plan Commission review and the public hearing this evening. We had an opportunity to have further in-depth conversations with the DOT. The applicant did submit a traffic impact analysis to the DOT. It did meet the criteria and the threshold that the DOT sets to allow for a left out. And staff just expressed a few concerns with that. What they're doing is they're combining the driveway. They'll close the driveway circled in yellow here in front of you with a dental office, and the dental office will then utilize the new driveway on the Buena Beef site. So we'll close that very northern one, and the criteria was to, in order to have that left out to be able to go northbound on Howell, the DOT did require that particular driveway to be closed. Another criteria that the DOT required for safety reasons is to expand the raised concrete in Howell Avenue, highlighted in the the red circle. So this is a Google Street View going northbound on Howell. If you look left, you can see that they're requiring the expansion of that concrete, the raised concrete, to kind of close that median opening there along Howell. So after the city engineer, Matt was able to talk with the DOT and in conjunction with Buena Beef, there has been an agreement that if there are a certain amount of accidents within a 3-year period, that the DOT would require on Buena Beef's dime, kind of like a pork chop, which would no longer allow customers to exit the site going northbound on Howell. So it would restrict a right out only. You could still enter going northbound on Howell. You can still enter going left into the site, but you would not be able to exit going left northbound on Howell. So the Plan Commission reviewed conditions and restrictions and recommended approval. However, the text in red is a condition restriction that's been added since the Plan Commission reviewed this item because of those conversations that the city engineer and the DOT and Buena have had. So that particular item does require that building permits shall not be issued without the city entering into an MOU between the city and the DOT addressing potential median modifications based on applicable crash warrant criteria. And then if those modifications are deemed necessary, the full cost shall be the responsibility of the property owner at the time, so not at the city's dime. Above and beyond the regular standard conditions and restrictions, What we have listed before you is, again, addressing the queuing and 18 vehicles, shall not exceed 18 vehicles in the drive-through, the hours operation, and then also the requirement that a cross-access and maintenance agreement be signed between the dental office and the Buena Beef properties to close that northern drive-through. Or excuse me, what's the word I want to use? Curb cut? Driveway? Oh my gosh. So as a standard, the city's zoning code does require that if a negative finding were to be suggested tonight with a motion, that one of the 5 items be listed for a reason to deny the conditional use permit. With that, the Plan Commission did recommend approval at their March 25th meeting, and we've received no objections to date.
Thank you, Christy. As this is a public hearing, we will make 3 calls for anybody wishing to speak on item 9. This will be the first call. Name and address, sir.
Peterson, 7075 Burr Ridge, Illinois. 7075 Veterans Parkway, Burr Ridge, Illinois. We're excited to have the chance to come join your community. If there's any questions that anyone has, I would be happy to answer.
Okay, thank you. We'll see what the public hearing and the council bears out. Thank you. Second call, anybody wishing to speak? Third and final call. We will now close the public hearing and move on to item 10, which is consideration of a resolution approving the conditional use permit for a drive-through at Buena Beef Restaurant and Rainbow Cone Ice Cream Shop, a proposed business located at 8767 South Howell. Council, Greg.
Just a question on one of the conditions. I wasn't present at the Plan Commission meeting. I don't know what the last business that needed a conditional use for a drive-through was, but is it typical to limit the vehicles in queue? And I guess this is the first time I've seen that before. And is there really a way to enforce that? I can't imagine the business is going to run out and chase away the 19th person.
Sure, I think it's just based off of the capacity of the lane.
Okay.
And I'm sorry, since I started, we also haven't had a drive-through, so we can review further ones because I think we're going to have 1 or 2 forthcoming in the next few months. So we'll review if that is a standard condition. You would know better than I would based off the history. So.
And I just don't remember ever seeing one. Obviously, if it's for safety reasons, it's necessary.
Yeah, thanks for bringing that up.
I just don't know what would happen if the
enforcement.
I mean, if it's a really busy business, there's going to be more than 18 people in that line.
Yeah, good. It's a good point. We'll review that.
Anyway,
Thank you.
Greg, I wasn't at that plan meeting either when it was talked about there in April. But historically speaking, the double queue lanes kind of double up the cars. So I want to say the last ones through probably Chick-fil-A or Culver's because they improved theirs, and that was kind of probably around COVID time that they did theirs. But the need for it where we had queuing questions was at the Dunkin' Donuts across the street there.
Okay.
So, and that was just a single lane queue, and after that, I believe this was the preferred method.
Sure. Okay, thanks.
Edification question.
No, go ahead, Jim.
Just a quick, so all drive-throughs require conditional use?
Correct. No matter bank, financial institution.
Okay.
Yep. It's just a very it's just drive-through. It's literally 2 words that require the conditional use permit. Correct.
Can you go back to the conditions and restrictions? And this might be totally stupid, but I don't understand why the MOU is between the city and the DOT and the owner is not in there.
Based on our discussions, we would be the enforcing entity. And since it is the jurisdictional of the state, they require the MOU with the city to enforce the rules that would be based on the crash criteria and enforcing that improvement. Be no different than a development that we would have. We enforce the rules within it.
I understand, so, but what ensures then if there are so many applicable crashes there, what gives us the ability to go back to the owner to have that closed in at their expense?
Conditions and restrictions.
Okay, thank you. That's all I needed to understand. I didn't understand why it was phrased that way.
I'm good.
Chris?
I'm good. I haven't gotten any calls. This is in my district, and it's no calls, positive or negative.
Seeing no further discussion, we'll call for a motion.
Guzekowski makes a motion that the Common Council adopt resolution number 12576 050625, a resolution approving conditional use permit for a drive-through at Buna Beef Restaurant and Rainbow Cone Ice Cream Shop, proposed business at 8767 South Howell Avenue.
Still a second.
Roll call.
Alderwoman Marshall.
Aye.
Gale.
Aye.
Guzekowski.
Aye.
Lorick.
Aye.
Ritz.
Aye.
And under old business, we have mayoral appointments as well as Common Council presidential appointments. So item 11 will require no votes. These are mayoral appointments to various committees. Small Claims Committee will be Alderperson Haas, and Library Board will be Alderman Lorick. Item 12 is consideration of a motion to concur with the mayoral's aldermatic appointments as listed. And for the public, the Tourism Commission, Alderman Ritz will sit on that board. Celebrations, Alderperson Marshall, and Community Development Authority would be President Gell along with Alderperson Haas. Any discussion on that appointment, reappointments? Seeing none, can we have a motion on 12, please?
Marshall moved to concur with the following mayoral aldermatic appointments as listed below.
Guzekowski will second.
Roll call.
Alderman Gale.
Aye.
Guzekowski.
Aye.
Lorick.
Aye.
Ritz.
Aye.
Marshall.
Aye.
And item 13 will require no vote, and I will turn that over to President Gell.
Thank you, Mayor. Given the Common Council aldermanic appointments on personnel, myself, Alderman Marshall, Alderman Ritz will serve on that. I'll serve as chairperson. License Committee, myself, Alderwoman Haas, Alderman Ritz will serve as chairman of that committee. Plan Commission, Alderman Guzekowski, Alderman Lorick on that. Board of Health, Alderman Haas. Emergency Management Advisory Representative, Alderman Lorick. Parks and Rec, Alderman Guzekowski. And then finally, Board of Public Works and Capital Assets, myself, Alderman Guzekowski, Alderwoman Marshall. Alderman Guzekowski will serve as chairperson of that board.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Moving on to new business. We will consider a motion to concur with the mayor's reappointments to the following boards. So there's an extensive list. I won't read them, but I will let you guys go through them. If there's any questions, please take the floor. Each person I called or contacted through email about serving as a new appointment or a reappointment.
Are we have any vacancies left on any of these boards?
Yes, we do. Thank you, Ken. For the general public, there's 3 openings currently on the celebrations, and there is one on the Parks Commission. Very recent. So if you know anyone or are interested in serving yourself, please contact myself or the city clerk, and applications can be gotten online or through the city clerk.
What are the 2 asterisks? Definition.
Those are new appointments.
Just new. Oh,
Yeah, Christopher Adams and Jared Bell.
right.
The rest were reappointments. Maybe
That's
James.
correct.
James was.
appointed to fill a vacancy, and then it came up in May.
Reappointed.
Yeah, so he
Okay.
got reappointed. Technically.
And Dion,
Oh, okay.
on Park and Recs. Oh, actually, complete vacancy. If there's no further questions, I'll ask for a motion.
I'll move to concur with the mayor's reappointments as listed.
Marshall, second.
Roll call.
Alderman Guzekowski.
Aye.
Lorick.
Aye.
Ritz.
Aye.
Marshall.
Aye.
Gale.
Aye.
And item 15 is consideration of a resolution setting the date and time for the 2025 Board of Review.
Common Council, this is a routine item that we do annually to set the time for the Board of Review for 2025. The assessment role is not expected to be complete by May 12th. So the statutory meeting will be held May 12th here at City Hall at 5 o'clock p.m. And at that meeting, the board will set the date of hearings for June of 2025. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
Questions for Catherine? Okay. Seeing none. We have or will the board?
We're setting the time and date for the May 12th statutory meeting, and then the board will set the date for June for the hearings.
Okay, thank you. There's no further questions. Motion, correct?
Marshall will move to adopt resolution number 12574-050625, a resolution setting the date and time for the 2025 Board of Review.
Guzekowski will second.
Roll call.
Alderman Lorik.
Aye.
Ritz.
Aye.
Marshall.
Aye.
Gale.
Aye.
Guzekowski.
Aye.
And item 16 is health, and it's consideration of a resolution approving Zone E Community Emergency Preparedness Coordinator position memorandum of understanding among Cudahy, Oak Creek, and South Milwaukee St. Francis Health Departments. And Darcy is here to explain it all.
Darcy Du Bois, Health Officer. So I'm just seeking approval for an MOU for the Emergency Preparedness Coordinator position, which is a shared position across the 3 health departments. This MOU replaces a previous MOU. This position has been shared for the past 4 years, and we've learned some lessons along the way and are reconfiguring the position a bit, the responsibilities, and the funding allocation. So the position is moving to South Milwaukee. It's being absorbed in one of their current staff positions, and Oak Creek and Cudahy will support 0.1 of that full-time position. So our total funding contribution will be less than $14,000 per year, and we'll be using our emergency preparedness grant funding to support that. Any questions that I can answer?
Questions for Darcy concerning the memorandum? Greg?
You mentioned that this would absorb into something else. Is there a person that's working full-time doing something else, and this is just additional tasking they're gonna do?
Well, so it's a full-time nurse in the city of South Milwaukee, and they have been doing emergency preparedness for South Milwaukee, so they're just adding on some coordination of the
Okay.
zone preparedness activities.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, if there's no further questions, motion then on 16.
I'll move to approve resolution 12577-0506-725, approving the Zone E Community Emergency Preparedness Coordinator position memorandum of understanding among Cudahy, Oak Creek, and South Milwaukee St. Francis Health Departments.
Marshall will second.
Roll call.
Alderman Ritz.
Aye.
Marshall.
Aye.
Gale.
Aye.
Guzekowski.
Aye.
Lorik.
Aye.
Item 17 is treasurer. Consider a motion to authorize the publication and write-off of the 2023 delinquent personal property taxes as reported by the city treasurer. Welcome, Sarah.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Sarah Koschiski, Administrative Services Director. I'm here for my yearly request to ask for a write-off and publication of the 2023 personal property. Just 2 things I wanted to note: that collection efforts will continue, and this will be the final year for this request, as personal property was eliminated as of January 2024. With that, I'm happy to answer any questions.
Guess if they hold out another year, are they off the hook?
No.
Government always gets it.
Any questions of Sarah? Okay, seeing none. Motion on 17, please.
I will move to authorize the publication and write-off of the 2023 delinquent personal property taxes reported by the city treasurer.
Guzekowski, I'll second.
Roll call.
Alderwoman Marshall?
Aye.
Gale?
Aye.
Guzekowski?
Aye.
Lorick?
Aye.
Ritz?
Aye.
And item 18 is Public Works and Utility, and its consideration of a resolution approving a 25-foot public water main easement at 10,000 South Ridgeview Drive, subject to any technical corrections. Mike?
Thank you, Mayor. Again, this is an easement for a water main. The water main on the Ridgeview is a dead end. It's been a long industrial dead end for quite some time. Always waiting for that development to happen on the end of the road that could then be tied into what we call 20th Street Extended, or the easement that was going to be 20th Street at one time. This development is now moving forward, and there is the opportunity to get this water main in. The developer will be putting it in, but there needs to be an easement for that water main to exist. So that's this 25 foot.
Questions? Matt? Okay, motion on 18.
Gail moves to approve resolution 12578-050625, approving a 25-foot public water main easement at 10,000 south of Ridgeview Drive, subject to any technical corrections.
Guzekowski, I'll second.
Roll call.
Alderman Gale?
Aye.
Guzekowski?
Aye.
Lorick?
Aye.
Ritz?
Aye.
Marshall? Aye.
19 is consideration of a resolution approving a 45-foot public water utility easement at 10,000 South Ridgeview, subject to any technical corrections.
On the west end of this same property of this development, there is an existing water and sewer. The sewer was put in 1973. The water was put in 1992. The construction plans show an easement in that location, but there is no easement there after they've done the research. The developers agreed to grant an easement over this existing water and sewer. That's the 45 feet. What I'd note for you is I dropped off earlier a revised resolution. The previous resolution that was included called it a water main easement. It's a public utility easement. So when a motion is made, if that's where you choose to go, as written on your sheet, the 45-foot public utility easement. Cross out the word water, because this does house the water and sanitary.
Can you just say, John is aware of the, agree to this?
Yes.
Any other questions? Discussion? Okay, seeing none.
Gail moves to approve resolution 12579-050625, approving a 45-foot public utility easement at 10,000 South Ridgeview Drive, subject to any technical corrections.
Marshall, second.
Roll call.
Alderman Guzekowski?
Aye.
Lorick?
Aye.
Ritz?
Aye.
Marshall? Aye. Gale?
Aye.
And item 20 is consideration of a motion to concur with the Park and Recreation Commission's recommendation and approve the purchase of playground equipment and safety surfacing for the Abendschein Park Beer Garden and Gerber from Gerber Leisure Products, Inc. through the HGAC by contract purchasing agreement in the amount of $154,938.
Thank you, Mayor and Common Council. This is, I guess, we're excitedly moving forward with the beer garden project. As was noted throughout the memo, it just kind of highlighted a little bit of the recent past that has taken place with the beer garden project, but we're kind of moving forward now, looking at the design of a shipping container facility for the beer garden, which is currently in the process of being designed, which is obviously the biggest component of the overall site plan or project itself. But as we move forward, we want to kind of set the stage or the site for the beer garden in anticipation of the final facility being completed in spring of next year. And we'd like to see the seating area as well as the playground facility and some other the amenities kind of laid out in place by this fall. And so it's something that we're looking to start work on with a lot of the concrete flat work and foundation work, doing some of that work in-house with Public Works staff, but also getting a functioning playground facility hopefully by the fall of this year. So to secure being able to do that and to get progressing, with the purchase, we're looking to get an approval for the purchase of the actual equipment. The Park and Recs Commission met last week, and we had a couple of options for them to take a look at. The one that was put forward is the one that they recommended, feeling it was probably a more popular design. It's actually a newer one. It's got more activities that are involved with it from more of some of the standard ones, and it would be different than the other parks that we have throughout the community. Our Parks Division looked at the Gerber equipment, since we have a lot of that throughout the park, so it makes it easy when we have to replace parts. It's similar. It's also it's turned out to be very durable, where we can replace parts, and the overall structure stands the test of time. We have several 20-year-old plus facilities, so that's the route that we were looking. We were able to get a couple of prices with the HG BAC contract pricing that was able to save us some money as well for this purchase. So looking at that with the price, we had $165,000 budgeted through the project for the playground purchase itself, and this playground and safety servicing came in at $154,938, and that was the option that the Park and Rec Commission recommended last week.
Okay. Questions? Open it up. Anybody?
Just is it a single portable restroom that's, I know it's not part of the purchase, but that's located there?
What we'll have for the restrooms? Yeah, so there's obviously the existing building that has, I believe, 4 stalls, we'll say, for men, 3 for women. But yeah, the plan would be is to, in the immediate first year or so, was probably to bring in some nicer portable restrooms, where it might be some kind of trailer or a container that would serve that purpose to accommodate.
Matt, I don't know much about playgrounds. Is this expandable? Can pieces be added to it? And then the second question is, does this accommodate numerous ages, say from 1 to 10 or whatever?
It's primarily built for ages 5 to 12. You can get equipment. There is one, like we'll say, infant swing there. Typically, you don't see a lot of use, unfortunately, even from the younger toddler age that want to use the smaller equipment. So given the amount of space we had there, we opted to go to the 5 to 12, which is really more popular with all ages. We couldn't expand the main structure itself. We would need to expand the space and kind of add on an
Additional feature.
Yep.
Is any of this ADA by chance?
It is. It would be primarily wood chips. It is deemed as ADA accessible.
Okay.
For the requirements that are there, how easy it would be to go across the wood chips, but we did we'd like to use the rubber surfacing, but it is expensive, and we found that after 7 years, which is the warranty, it starts to break apart, and it's difficult. I mean, to go in and replace that every 7 to 10 years would be very expensive. So the wood chips, while a little bit more high maintenance, is ultimately going to be more cost effective.
Okay. Is there any equipment for an ADA individual?
There is the swing. There is one swing specifically.
Oh, I do see it. Thank you. Question answered. Thank you. Anybody else? No, I'm glad to see it's moving. No further discussion? Motion.
Marshall moved to concur with the Parks and Recreation Commission's recommendation to approve the purchase of playground equipment and safety surfacing for Abendschein Park Beer Garden from Gerber Leisure Products Incorporated through the HGAC by contract purchasing agreement in the amount of $554,938.
Kuzikowski will second.
Roll call.
Alderman Lorik.
Aye.
Ritz. Marshall.
Aye.
Gale.
Aye.
Guzekowski.
Aye.
Item 21 is engineering, and it's consideration of a motion to award the 2025 road improvement unit price contract base bid to the lowest responsible bidder, Payne and Dolan, Inc., at an estimated cost of $984,230.20. Matt?
Thank you, Mayor and Common Council. Matt Sullivan, Assistant City Administrator and City Engineer. Before you is that resolution to award the, or not resolution, excuse me, Common Council or the council award for the roadway project. This has been ongoing for a while. We've discussed this many times. Back in October of 2024 is when they approved, or you approved, option A. We had three options before you. Option A was approved. It was estimated at a little over 1 million at that time. We went back and re-engineered it. Obviously, as we went and did our work in our value engineering throughout the process, that price did drop. So as you notice, we were slightly above our actual engineering estimate, but we found that to be in the traffic control area, which is an unusual item to be a little over for contractors, but you know, this is uncommon, not, I guess, something that I would be surprised with, you know, as we move forward, just based on the amount of roads that we're doing, the traffic control costs will increase. This is still well within our budget. We were budgeted 1 million, but we did have some leftover monies from previous years that would cover any overages we may have. This does not include any additional work in Fairfield subdivision. We're working through those plans currently. This is strictly for our Pazer roads and the $1 million that we have set aside in our budget. I would imagine that you'll be seeing shortly our Fairfield roadway work subdivision and the ditching within that subdivision coming forward, along with some of our other projects that we've been working on. One thing to note, we are doing several different uses of maintenance out here, milling and overlaying, and then doing our surface treatment, which is our microsurfacing and patching, which has been very successful and well received through the residents. Just from the fact that it's a little cleaner, we get on a little quicker. There's really no stones that are picked up on the cars or properties that we were finding. So I'd be happy to answer any questions in regards to this.
Council members, any questions?
Yeah, is the Pennsylvania to Oakwood, that's a continuation of last year's project?
No, this will be the microsurfacing, so this will be a different style.
So how is that transition going?
I mean, Pennsylvania, I don't believe we did that project. I think that was Shepherd that we did, or Nicholson.
I'm sorry.
Nicholson.
You're right.
It
is. It is. Yeah, it was Shepherd. Never mind.
So this is basically, we redid this road 10 years ago.
Okay.
For the mill and overlay. This is more of a treatment just to cover and have that product last a little longer.
I had Shepherd.
Okay, seeing no more discussion, motion?
Bill move to award the 2025 road improvements unit price contract base bid to the lowest responsible bidder, Payne and Dolan, Inc., at the estimated cost of $984,230.20.
Guzekowski will second.
Roll call.
Alderman Ritz.
Aye.
Marshall.
Aye.
Gale.
Aye.
Guzekowski.
Aye.
Lorick.
Aye.
And item 22 is the license committee, and by presidential appointment, I'm going to turn that over to Alderman Ritz.
Thank you. In your packet, you have the licensing committee report. Please look it over if you see if you have any questions. If not, need a motion.
Don't you motion?
I guess I could motion it, yes. Ritz moves to approve the April 30th, 2025 vendor, I'm sorry, wrong one. Ritz moves to approve the various license requests as listed on the 5/6/25 license committee report.
Lorick seconds.
Okay, we got a motion and a second. Roll call, please.
Alderwoman Marshall.
Aye.
Gale.
Aye.
Guzekowski.
Aye.
Lorick.
Aye.
Ritz.
Aye.
And item 23 is our vendor summary report for April 30th, 2025, in the amount of $1,108,448.21. You do have a list in your packet. Please take a look, and if there's any questions, just take the floor. And if there's no discussion, questions, motion, please.
Oh, since I already did half of it, I'll do it again.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, I mean, I already did that.
Oh, go ahead.
Ritz moves to approve the
I thought you were talking about the list. I'm like, it's a
The
long
April
list,
30th
Jim.
Ritz moves to approve the April 30th, 2025 vendor summary report in the amount of $1,108,448.21.
Marshall, second.
Roll call.
Alderman Gale.
Aye.
Guzekowski.
Aye.
Lorick.
Aye.
Ritz.
Aye.
Marshall.
Aye.
And item 24 is consideration of a motion to convene into closed session pursuant to Wisconsin State Statute 19.85 to discuss the following. Section .1985, sub 1, sub G, to confer with legal counsel concerning strategy with respect to the subrogation claim of West Bend Mutual filed on behalf of the insured Grace Obayak regarding a motor vehicle accident with a city vehicle on October 16th, 2024, 8700 block of South Howell Avenue. And item B, section 19.85, sub 1, sub G, to confer with legal counsel concerning the strategy with respect to litigation in the Oak Creek Neighbors United UA versus the city of Oak Creek. President Gale?
Thank you, Mayor. Gail moves to convene into closed session pursuant to Wisconsin State Statute, Section 19.85, to discuss the following. A, Section 19.85, Sub 1, Sub G, to confer with legal counsel concerning strategy with respect to a subrogation claim of West Bend Mutual filed on behalf of their insured Grace Biosic regarding a motor vehicle accident with a city vehicle on October 16, 2024, in the 8700 block of South Howell Avenue. B, Section 19.85, Sub 1, Sub G, to confer with legal counsel concerning strategy with respect to litigation on Oak Creek Neighbors United UA versus City of Oak Creek.
Guzekowski, second.
Roll call.
Alderman Guzekowski.
Aye.
Lorick.
Aye.
Ritz.
Aye.
Marshall. Aye. Gale.
Aye.
We will now convene into closed session, and we will return at its conclusion. Thank you. We will now consider a motion to reconvene in open session.
Thank you, Mayor. Gail moves to reconvene in the open session.
Marshall, seconds.
Roll call.
Alderman Lorick.
Aye.
Ritz.
Aye.
Marshall. Aye. Gale.
Aye.
Guzekowski.
Aye.
Item 6 is consideration to take a motion of any action that is required.
Thank you, Mayor. Gail moves that the Common Council deny the claim of West Bend Mutual regarding a motor vehicle accident with the city vehicle on October 16, 2024 in the 8700 block of South Howell Avenue.
Marshall, second.
Roll call.
Alderman Ritz.
Aye.
Marshall.
Aye.
Gale.
Aye.
Guzekowski.
Aye.
Lorick.
Aye.
And before we adjourn, just general announcements. I believe it's the kickoff of the farmer's market.
It is.
So please, if you can, it's supposed to be a nice weekend. Take a break from your yard work and visit Drexel Town Square and pick up some local farm produce, plants, and anything else that may. Is there anything else you need mention? If not, motion to adjourn, please.
Marshall, move to adjourn.
Clark seconds.
Roll call.
Alderwoman Marshall.
Aye.
Gale.
Aye.
Guzekowski.
Aye.
Lorick.
Aye.
Ritz.
Aye.
Great. Thank you all. Have a great week.
Oh, I got something.